All right, I'm Kena Whitworth here in Los Angeles, and we begin with stocks rallying today on Wall Street after the U.S. and China agreed to slash reciprocal tariffs for 90 days. The three major market indexes all up at the closing bell. President Trump today saying that trade talks between the U.S. and Chinese officials have been productive. Now, earlier, our Rachel Scott had the opportunity to ask him what happens after this 90-day pause.
Yesterday, we achieved a total reset with China. After productive talks in Geneva, both sides now agreed to reduce the tariffs imposed after April 2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiators continue on the largest structural issues.
If a longer-term deal is not reached with China at the end of these 90 days, can the American people expect those tariffs to go back up to 145%?
No, but they would go up substantially higher.
All right, for more on this, I want to bring in ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang. So, look, Selena, what more are U.S. and Chinese officials saying about this agreement?
Yeah, Kena, well, the White House is touting this as a trade deal, but what this is a pause. So for 90 days, these tariffs are coming down dramatically, and both the U.S. and China have said they've agreed to continue talks on economic and trade issues. But this is significant. The U.S. rolling back their 145% tariffs down to 30%. China reducing its tariffs on American goods from 125% down to 10%. So the way tariffs were at that extremely high rate, it was essentially a trade embargo that was stopping trade between the world's two biggest economies. So you see this market surge because investors believe this is going to create the new flows of trade, and they believe that this is better than what they had expected to come out of those negotiations in Switzerland. So this is a dramatic walk back, Kena, from both countries leading up to those talks. Both the U.S. and China had been taking this hardline, tough approach, saying they were not going to back down, with President Trump just days before saying he would not remove tariffs on China in order to bring them to the negotiating table. But look, a 30% tariff rate is still high. I just want to read to you some of the new stats from the Yale Budget Lab. They're estimating that with this lower tariff rate on Chinese goods, the average American household will be paying $2,800 a year. That is lower than the previous estimate of $4,900, but still significant. We're talking about costing American families still potentially thousands of dollars more per year.
All right, Selena Wang, our thanks to you there in Washington.